So I have never been to an audition that did not terrify me, so I was very nervous before this one too. I think the fact that they billed it as an interview helped because I felt less pressure to be very talented and artistic and whatever. But having it be virtual definitely also helped. Just in terms of the nerves, knowing I was at home, that I was just performing to a camera is always a slightly lower level of anxiety and adrenaline than doing it in person.
I'm waiting to be led into the Zoom call, and I'm just telling myself, Lance, just go be you. Go show them who Lance is, who Lance Avery Brown is. So they let me in the Zoom call, and we're talking, and it's like, there's no sense of nervousness. I felt I was in this comfortable space. There was a moment where I forgot I was even auditioning until they asked me to do the piece that I was doing for my audition. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm auditioning for something. And I think that's when I knew, like, yeah, this is the space I need to be in. This is the space I'm gonna be in.
And I was thinking, how am I going to show them that I'm talented enough to be part of the group? Now, when I figured out that the auditions were going to be virtual, that really scared me. Because now I'm thinking, how do I make a connection with the person that I can't see physically, but through a screen? How can they feel my performance enough to make them think, geez, he's really talented, let me put him a part of this. So I don't know if it made it easier, but it definitely made it different. Of course it made it different.
Virtual auditions made it a lot easier for me to put on my best show. I mean, I didn't have to sit in a waiting room full of a bunch of other nervous teenagers. It was just me in my sunroom. Then I sang a song for some people on my screen, and before I knew it, it was over.
I couldn't help it. So I was in class, a virtual acting class, and out of nowhere my phone just lights up and I see on the notification bar that I have an email from Alliance, the Collision email. And I was just like, oh my God. And I was trying not to check my email during class and I just couldn't help myself, and I opened it and I saw that I was accepted, but I didn't want to make it obvious that I was looking at an email during class. So I was just like, I wanted to scream so bad, but I couldn't. But to say the least, I was definitely speechless and extremely excited.
Honestly, it was just kind of like, thank God I have one thing to do this summer. Everything else, theater-wise, performance-wise, that I had auditioned for had already been canceled and moved online. So this was kind of like my last shot at something. It's insane the kind of teaching artists that they bring in to work with you. I think one of my favorites is definitely Rosemary Newcott's movement workshop though. She had us move one body part, one finger, one arm to the music before letting us do a sort of a little bit looser interpretive dance to a concept. And I think just for someone who isn't a dancer and isn't a mover, not only was that like strangely meditative, but I had never felt through movement in the way that exercise allowed me to feel and let go and just really express myself in this way that I hadn't before. It was very sort of eye-opening for me.
My favorite workshop was the body percussion with Amina. She taught me how to dance and how to, make music through my body while I'm dancing, through little taps and beats and stuff. It was so much fun. I loved it.
White Rose had me questioning my own level of selflessness, how far I would go to protect the liberty of others, especially when it's safer to do nothing.
White Rose taught me that activism comes in all shapes and sizes. Not everyone can be the next Martin Luther King, so it's our job to find where we fit, whether that means organizing the protests or making sandwiches and snacks for the protesters. And as artists, we came together with Collision to create art that educates.
So before, just sheer terror. Did not know what to do.
Right before the talent share, I was extremely excited. The night before, we had all been talking about how we were stressing, putting the final finishing touches on our pieces that we were gonna share, and it just made me feel like I wasn't alone, and I was just so excited to see what everyone else had to offer.
It was liberating for me because I finally put a piece of my work out there to be critiqued openly and to just receive whatever was said about it. And I got so much positive feedback from it that it created this confidence in me that I don't think I could have found anywhere else other than that collision experience of forcing yourself out of your little box of safety.
No, like I was invested in every single piece that everybody brought to the table, and it was truly just a blessing to be in that space at that moment to witness these pieces. I know, I can speak for everybody with this. I know there were some pieces where right there we all knew, oh yeah, this needs to be in the show.
And after the talent share, I just felt still so shocked, but I also felt so empowered that we could just take on anything. There was nothing that could stop us. We could do anything. And I think that's what pure dedication and pure talent and just purity does to someone.
I was really proud of all of us for being so open that day. Okay.
I really did learn to hope that even during this pandemic, during all this political stuff, that it is possible to have dialogue and to have hope and to make change on a very individual level and on a larger level too, through art, through what you love, and to sort of spread that love, as cheesy as it sounds.
I learned with being in Collision is that you can always find your people. There's always a group for you. So if you don't feel like you fit in somewhere, I don't think you should. Just be okay within being in something that you're not supposed to be in, that you're not, comfortable with being in. Because there's a group of people waiting for you to join them. And then when you do, you'll be happier, my man. That's all I gotta say about that.
The other collisioners taught me about connecting with other people and not just in a networking business situation. I never realized just how amazing it can feel to meet new people and open up to them and feel like you can tell them anything. And it's crazy because I've never met most of these people in person, but I consider them my family.
Virtual Tech Week was similar to Real Tech Week because of how the stakes were still just as high, if not higher. The thing is that part of the show was recorded and part of the show was live. And so the things that we did record, we had to always be ready to be on camera, always be in the mindset of, hey, this take might end up in the final show. So it was definitely nerve-wracking in that way, a little bit more than regular Tech Week.
I don't know, it didn't feel like Tech Week because we were also recording segments during the thing. So it was kind of like a extended performance period as opposed to a normal theater Tech Week. But same levels of stress and being tired, I would say.
I wasn't nervous. I think I was more interested to see how the whole thing would turn out. It wasn't your typical opening night, behind the curtains, doing whatever you need to do to get focused and prepared for the show. It was more that bonding moment we had as a cast, like, guys, we did it. It's time to show the world now.
I was super nervous when the final show came around. I was just thinking, OMG, 500 people was in there. I'm just thinking, OMG, I hope they love it. I hope they love it. And I hope we did a great job. We did, by the way. I don't know if you watched, but if you did, you saw that we did a great job. We did. It was beautiful. It was emotional. And then the nerves kind of went away, and it was just sadness. But not like sadness, like happy. Like that sadness that you're like, dang, I love this, and now I gotta go. That type of sadness.
Collision. two objects or ideas or people crashing together and becoming one for a short period of time before heading off in different directions than they were headed originally.
My definition of collision is bringing a multitude of separate ideas and identities and combining them into something to create an original product. In our case, the original product was a piece of work, and the multitude of ideas and things were us as the teams that were chosen. It's beautiful, it's unique, it's probably never going to be able to be recreated, and I think that's my favorite part about it.
To me, collision means a family colliding pieces of their hearts together to form a new one, and then taking a piece of that new heart and keeping it with them forever.
To me, a collision is when two or more things come together, and it can be something tragic, like a car accident, or it can be something beautiful and long-lasting, like the family and the art that we created here at the Collision Project.